Are you serious? Are we all serious? Is anybody serious, really? But are you serious? Are we all serious? Are you serious? Okay. The Vice President of the United States is left holding the bag. We're going to tell you exactly what that means and how that happened and where in the world does she go and we go from here. Let's put a shout out right now if we could for www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. Check this out, guys. Studies are showing now that the appearance directly reflects our appearance, directly affects our mental health. Many anti-aging supplements found on store shelves try to capitalize on that. Most of them fall short. And this is because they fail at targeting the root of the problem. The newest trend in anti-aging supplements is collagen. No, not human collagen, but plant, egg, and fish collagen. Research shows that a good collagen supplement can help make your hair stronger, your skin more youthful, while supporting the healthy joints, bones, and gut health. But don't run to the store and just buy the first collagen supplement you see. Grab the ageless multi-collagen, which can only be purchased online at www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. And it has the highest quality standards. One scoop in the soup. And it's tasteless, it's odorless. You become ageless and save 51%. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. All right. We got you. Are you serious? It's time to get looking better, feeling better, and acting better. Are you serious? Let me tell you what's going on right now. Vice President Kamala Harris seems to be holding the bag. And, once again, as she's been sent on maybe an impossible task. The Vice President, Kamala Harris, will have an opportunity to connect with leaders from Latin America and the Caribbean as she welcomes them to her home state of California this week for the Summit of the Americas. This ought to go well because she's looking for that root cause to the immigration problems in the southern border. Why are thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people coming across the border in the United States from the Mexican border? And so she's got a chance here to connect. She's hosting the Summit of the Americas, and everybody's expected to come. The problem is, right out of the blocks, they didn't invite Cuba, Venezuela, and there's another country. They didn't invite them. So those guys aren't coming because of the fact that they're led by dictators. But then the next problem was this. Look at this. So Harris is taking on this thankless task of addressing the root causes of migration, for which progress has been very slow. The region has seen very little of her. Matter of fact, she went to the border once, and it wasn't a fit, if you want to call it that, way over in El Paso, where there's no problems. Very strange. She hasn't been back. There's no press conferences. There's no plan other than the changed policy by President Joe Biden, which was this: stop building the wall, even though it's paid for. It's just stop, even though it was working, and reverse the immigration policies of the former administration, which has now opened the floodgates and really has put this crisis at an all-time desperate situation. But Harris is here to save the day, as long as she doesn't get left holding the bag. Matter of fact, the effort has yielded very few results so far. Among those staying home for this summit are presidents of Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras. They're the only three leaders that Harris has ever met in her two quick trips to the region. And now none of them want to come to the summit. These are the three most important nations for the problem. Mexico, for sure, needs to be there. Guatemala, that's where tons of people are coming out of through Mexico. And Honduras. That's the three biggest nations that residents that are flooding across the border. Plus, there's people from 120 different countries coming through the border because it's so porous. They're coming from all over Africa, Middle East, everywhere. And some of them are criminals and are very dangerous, as we know. Plus, not counting all the human trafficking and drug trafficking and the dangerous abuse that the coyotes and the drug cartels are running both sides of the border now. So Harris really needs this summit. If she's absolutely going to actually try to tackle this problem, this is it. And yet Mexico says, nah, I don't think we're coming. Guatemala says, nope, not going. Honduras, no, I'm not going. So, okay. So how are we going to fix the problem when the three most important countries for the problem aren't coming? And Harris has got this all set up in her home state of California, and looks like she may be left holding the bag. And will Joe Biden bail her out or do something or make a phone call or do something to convince these nations to come? Are you serious? This is really strange. What we've been witnessing really in this current president under Biden's administration, because it's strange that we had this thing fixed and now it's the worst it's ever been. But then again, we had the energy price of gasoline was $2.32 a gallon when President Trump left office. Today, we broke another record. We're now at $4.91 national average. $4.91. I said we might hit $5 national average by the end of this week. We got a shot at it. It's only Tuesday. Oh my Lord, have mercy. But it's getting ugly out here, guys, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. Let me read a little bit more detail of what we're talking about here when it comes to could Harris be left holding the bag. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris will have the opportunity to connect with leaders from Latin America and the Caribbean. She's welcoming all of them to her home state. Well, I shouldn't say all. And for the Summit of Americas. But whether she can demonstrate her clout at this hemisphere's premier gathering being held on U.S. soil for the first time since 1994 remains an open question. Since Joe Biden's days of crisscrossing Latin America as vice president, the region's leaders have come to expect direct access to the powerful interlockings inside the White House. However, other than Harris taking a couple thankless tasks of addressing the root cause of migration, for which progress has been very slow, the region has seen little of her at all. This is a symptom, experts say, of a larger U.S. neglect of the region. In recent days, she and the president have been working the phones to shore up attendance. That's not working either. Among the leftist leaders who have been critical of the U.S. decision to exclude the authoritarian governments of Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. They're not invited, okay? But the effort has yielded few results because Mexico, which is the most important country, not coming. Guatemala, second, not coming. And Honduras, third, not coming. The only three leaders that Harris has ever met before. Did she do something to, apparently she didn't warm them up, or apparently she didn't impress them or whatever, or she ticked them off. We don't know, but they're not coming. Now, Brian Winter, the vice president of the Council of Americas, said Harris got off on the wrong foot as Biden's point person assigned to address the root cause and socioeconomic causes driving the migrants to the U.S. In the May of 2021 policy speech delivered to Whitner's International Business Group from Washington, Harris, a former California prosecutor, mentioned corruption no fewer than 10 times, stirring resentment in the region where leaders are sensitive to taking lectures from U.S. policymakers. Now, corruption's a huge problem, but clearly there are more delicate ways to handle this, said Winter. A lot of doors closed even before she even got on the ground. Harris's biggest achievement in the region to date is having helped secure commitments from the United States companies to invest $1.2 billion in Central America, where every year hundreds of thousands of mostly young adults flee gang violence and crushing poverty. But today she announced more than $1.9 billion in commitments aimed at using the private sector to create jobs that can foster economic growth and discourage young Central American adults from abandoning their homes and fleeing toward America. The new initiatives being announced include $700 million of expansion of a cellular network in Guatemala, cell phone towers. Honduras also would get these, and El Salvador, by a Miami-based Millicom company, a $270 million commitment by Visa to promote digital payments, and a $150 million nearshoring investment by The Gap that could see as many as 5,000 jobs created closer to the U.S. Now, I looked at this and said, what does this do really to help stop people from coming here? Cell towers, that just gives them cell phone access a little more. Visa just gives them a better access to send money from America back home to Mexico when they come across and work and send it back. Cell phones help them to connect better with home when they're working in America. And also the drug cartels benefit greatly by more internet, by more telephone access. So you don't see how that addresses the root problem, really. Now, Biden's administration's biggest policy proposal in the region was a $4 billion aid package for Central America. It has stalled in Congress with a little apparent effort to revive it. Meanwhile, the number of migrants at the U.S. border with Mexico has surged to its highest levels in decades, even as the Biden administration has little to show for their Democratic president's promise as the candidate to introduce a humane asylum system that would break with the Trump-era restrictions. And one challenge is finding partners in the region where institutions are weak, gang violence is prolific, and corruption is rampant. And none of the countries Harris is to work with are going to come to the summit, according to the list of delegations with the White House. All three nations are going to send foreign ministers. The presidents all refuse to come. The U.S. has taken strident tone against El Salvador's president, with it accuses of using his popularity to amass power and run roughshod over the democratic checks and balances. Meanwhile, Guatemala's president said last month that he would not attend, in criticizing the U.S. The U.S. criticized his decision to reappoint an attorney general it alleged was involved in corruption. And perhaps the biggest disappointment is Honduras's president, Xiomara Castro, who has won praise from U.S. officials for her decision to extradite her predecessor, Juan Orlando Hernandez, to the U.S. to face federal drug charges. Harris, who attended Castro's inauguration back in January, in recent days spoke with Honduras' first female president in a last-ditch effort to persuade her to come to L.A. But she said she said that she's not coming. No one knows why that it's not working. Why Harris is having a hard time getting anybody to work with her, including her own staff. I'm thinking that she's having a difficult time, and maybe Joe Biden has hung her out to dry. Maybe he has hung her out to dry. I don't know. Now, I could go down a lot of paths, and I could do a lot of speculation like a lot of folks do, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say this is a big problem. We have a massive problem on the border, and the person that's in charge of fixing it can't get anybody to even show up for the meeting. So we got a big problem, especially in the fact that President Joe Biden is thinking about canceling Title 42, which would then literally open the floodgates. The dam would break, is actually what would happen with a flood of people. Where do we go from here? We need to really pray. Guys, our nation is suffering here in America as fentanyl is coming across the border, and our young people are dying like flies. And that's not the only problem we got. Not just the fentanyl problem, but the human trafficking and the human suffering that goes on with this type of cartel, gang-related trafficking system that's obviously taken place. If we were to follow the money, we'd probably find out just who the culprits are, and that might actually frighten you. I'll be right back, guys, with more in just a moment.
I saw a black man with a Bible and a sparkler in his hand. He was holding a tent revival and running a fireworks stand. He said the end of the world is coming, so you better get on your knees. Today bottle rockets 2 for 1, but salvation's free. He said I quit my job at a big church where the milk and money flowed to sell cherry bombs with Jesus in a tent beside the road. I ain't in it for the money, no cars they pass on by, but I paid the rent on New Year's and the 4th of July. Here at the Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory.
How you doing, Robert?
Pentecostal, fire brimstone, Mission Temple fireworks stand. He said fireworks are dangerous, they can blow up in your face. Better read the instructions, light the fuse and get away. These things are made in China, so it's easy to see. How man who worships Buddha ain't got no guarantee. This is the Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory,
Big Bang Theory.
Pentecostal, fire brimstone, Mission Temple fireworks stand.
Somebody get some coffee and calm down. Said everything I'm selling, it's all going up in smoke.
This world is like an
Atomic bomb, it's ready to explode.
when the trumpet sounds and the Lord comes back, I promise you one thing. I'll be a human bottle rocket, and I'll go out with a bang. I'll leave this Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire brimstone. It's Mission Temple fireworks stand.
Revival time.
This
Holy Ghost,
Big Bang Theory,
Big Bang Theory.
Pentecostal,
What?
fire brimstone. It's Mission Temple fireworks stand. Mission Temple fireworks stand. It's Mission Temple
Fireworks stand. Somebody shout. Oh, that's right. Mission Temple Fireworks Stand. Guys, I want to also share something real quick with you. 2 things. One, you can still send in your Pentecost offerings. People are still calling and wondering if they can. People are still sending them in. You can. Please do that and put your prayer request in there so I can take them with me to Israel when we go on February 7th through the 17th. Also, today I'll be live at 12 noon Eastern with a full show from the Salvation Station studio over here. Brock Begley will be joining me. And my guest is Big John. Big Bad John. John Dislin, who wrote a brand new book called Nehemiah Strong. And what a powerful book. Life-sustaining essentials for a season of trials. And this book, look how thick this thing is. I mean, it is unbelievable. And when it's easy to read, but boy, is it filled with tremendous information about these times we're living in today and the practicality of how to handle it. Matter of fact, Big John, and I call him Big John because he's 7 foot tall and he played basketball for the University of Virginia Cavaliers. And I was asking him about it, and I said, so Ralph Sampson was the center in the early 80s, and Big John came in right after Sampson graduated. So I said, you just missed him. He said, no, I didn't. Every summer he came to Virginia and scrimmaged with us, and I had to guard him all summer long. Imagine trying to guard Ralph Sampson. Now, Big John is 7 foot tall. He's a big man. Matter of fact, the first time I saw him at a conference in Gurnee, Illinois that we were hosting, I thought he was a Nephilim. This guy is huge, big. And matter of fact, there's a picture of him and L.A. Marzulli standing next to him. And L.A. 6 foot tall. This guy, he looked like a Nephilim. He's so huge. But anyway, but get this. He said, I'm 7 foot tall, right? Big man. But Ralph Sampson's 7'4". And he said, and he's unbelievable. Yes, and it's true. He's an NBA All-Star. Anyway, Big John is a very talented writer. Matter of fact, some of the comments that I was reading here, praises he got from people. Steve Quayle said, it's a wake-up call for the redeemed. Also, Doug Hagman said, the book I've been searching for. This is a classic. Also, the Australian Special Forces Magnum said, it's a brilliant masterpiece. Dave Hodges from the Common Sense Show said, it's a groundbreaking literary work. Alex Newman, a reporter from Liberty Sentinel, said, it's critical. It has critical insight for every Christian. Robert Griswold, the ready-made resources writer, says it's a must-read. Coach Dave Dodemeyer says there's a lot of great stuff in here. And NC Scout, the American Partisan, says it's a must-read, then referenced again and again and again. So these guys all putting high marks on this one. Nehemiah Strong, about really it's about, of course, King the Nehemiah and the rebuilding of the wall. And how that God used Nehemiah in a mighty way. But besides that, it's how Nehemiah had to deal with the cultural problems, the enemy attacking, the people in a disarray, all the different things. And it's got so much in here, guys. How to discern the sheep from the goats. Weapons of your warfare. How to go to combat with the devil. Oh, man. Just one thing after another. So we're going to interview him today. So don't miss the broadcast today, as Big John Disson will be with us today at 12 noon Eastern at right here on this YouTube channel and at paulbegleyprophecy.com. All right, guys. God bless all of you. Brock and I will see you in about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll see you at 12 noon Eastern right here on the coming apocalypse. Thank you, moderators. God bless you guys. Are you serious, everybody?